Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a fascinating journey into a concept that might just turn absolutely everything you thought you knew about money completely upside down. We live in a world that is just obsessed with the appearance of wealth. The flashy cars, the designer clothes, the massive mansions. We see it everywhere. But what if I told you that this exact cultural obsession with looking rich is the very thing keeping most people from actually being wealthy?
So, let's play a little game. Who looks more like a millionaire to you? Is it the person stepping out of a brand new leased luxury sedan wearing a bespoke, custom-tailored suit? Or is it the person in jeans and a t-shirt driving a 10-year-old, totally average sedan? Just keep your answer in the back of your mind for a second, because the reality of how money actually works is going to shock you.
And this setup brilliantly illustrates the core illusion of wealth we're talking about. Consider the trust officer. He wears expensive suits, he sports a $5,000 watch, and he leases the absolute latest imported luxury car. But financially, the guy is secretly broke. He's spending absolutely everything he earns just to maintain his elite status. Now compare him to a Texas businessman who rebuilds diesel engines for a living. He wears jeans, drives an old car, and lives in a totally modest working-class neighborhood. Yet he is a true self-made millionaire. He might not look the part, but his bank account tells the real story.
Part 1. Myth of the Millionaire. Uncovering the truth. Okay, let's really dive into this myth, because the truth about wealth, it isn't found in a Hollywood movie, it's found in hard, objective data. Researchers Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko spent 2 decades rigorously studying how ordinary people actually accumulate fortunes. Their exhaustive research cuts right through the noise to expose the fake rich in their landmark book, The Millionaire Next Door. The data proves that true wealth is almost never built through inherited estates, or sheer luck, or hitting the lottery. Instead, it's the result of extreme discipline, hard work, and, honestly, a profound level of frugality. It's about ordinary people making extraordinary, consistent financial choices day in and day out.
Prepare to have your mind blown by this number right here. 80%. A staggering 80% of millionaires are actually first-generation affluent. Think about that for a second. That means they didn't inherit their money, they started from absolute zero and built their fortunes entirely from scratch within their own lifetime. They are entirely self-made.
And to drive that point home even further, 19%. Only 19% of millionaires received any income or wealth of any kind from a trust fund or an estate. I mean, this completely destroys the whole silver spoon myth. You absolutely do not need to be born into a wealthy family to become a millionaire. You just need the right habits.
Part 2. Income is not wealth. The crucial difference.
So this brings us to a foundational concept. Income is not wealth. I'm going to repeat that because it's literally vital to understanding everything we're talking about today. A high salary does not automatically equal a high net worth. In fact, if you make a good income each year and spend it all, you're not getting wealthier, you're just living high. Earning a lot of money is really only half the equation, and frankly, it's the less important half if you have no idea how to keep it. This is the incredibly dangerous trap of lifestyle inflation. People get a raise and suddenly they're buying expensive dinners, luxury brands, and taking lavish vacations, mostly just to show off to their friends and neighbors. But this behavior leaves high earners heavily in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, and completely vulnerable to any kind of economic downturn.
Part 3. Are you a PA? Measuring your financial trajectory.
Right, so how do you know if you're actually building wealth or just living high? It's time to evaluate your own financial habits. The researchers categorize people into 2 main camps, PAs and UAWs. A PA is a prodigious accumulator of wealth. This is someone who saves aggressively, invests wisely, and lives modestly. A UAW, on the other hand, is an underaccumulator of wealth. Now, they might have a very high income, but they are totally trapped by high spending and low savings. Their wealth is a mere fraction of what it really should be for their specific income and age bracket.
And this brilliantly illustrates the dramatic difference. Check out Bubba Richards, a mobile home dealer making about $90,000 a year. Bubba is a frugal, blue-collar PA with a net worth of over $1.1 million. On the flip side, we have James Ford II, an attorney. He makes slightly more income than Bubba, over $92,000 a year. But James is a status-driven UAW. Because he spends heavily to maintain an upper-middle-class image, his net worth is only around $226,000. Bubba has nearly 5 times the wealth of James, despite earning less money. It's wild.
Part 4. You aren't what you drive. The trap of status symbols.
Let's transition into what is perhaps the most visible trap of the middle class, equating personal success with depreciating assets. Nothing highlights this quite like the vehicles we choose to drive. There's this highly accurate, very funny Texan phrase that perfectly summarizes the phenomenon: big hat, no cattle. This is used to describe people who showcase a massive, flashy lifestyle, the big hat, but completely lack the actual financial stability and investments, the cattle, to back it up. They are entirely for show.
When you actually break down the data on real millionaires, you see that a massive portion of them purchase practical, often used vehicles. Only a very tiny sliver of them ever lease new luxury cars. True millionaires prioritize their financial freedom and their peace of mind, way over trying to impress total strangers at a traffic light. They view a car simply as a depreciating utility to get from point A to point B. That's it.
The extensive surveys firmly establish this point. The wealthy have a strict, almost religious avoidance of lifestyle inflation. They rigorously avoid massive car notes. A 10-year-old practical sedan that runs beautifully is just far more appealing to a true millionaire than a heavily financed brand-new sports car that bleeds their monthly budget dry.
Part 5. The Generational Wealth Trap. Economic Outpatient Care.
Now, let's shift our focus to tackle a deeply counterintuitive truth about family and money. What happens when these self-made millionaires try to pass down their wealth to the next generation? Well, it turns out good intentions can have absolutely disastrous results. The authors call this trap economic outpatient care. The harsh reality is, financial help often makes adult children weaker, not stronger. When parents constantly rescue their adult children financially, paying for their homes, buying their cars, covering their credit card bills, it actually prevents those children from ever developing self-reliance. They become economically crippled by the very wealth that was meant to assist them.
And the consequences here are severe. Children raised with an endless financial safety net almost never learn financial discipline. They become totally dependent. When the funds inevitably stop flowing, say after the parents pass away, they're unable to survive on their own because they never developed the actual skills to build self-made wealth. Because they never had to learn the true value of a hard-earned dollar, they almost always squander the family fortune.
Part 6. Blueprint for Real Wealth. Changing your habits today.
Okay, so the crucial point is, how do we apply all of this? This is where we turn theory into a powerful, everyday action plan. It's time to stop playing the status game and start playing the wealth game. Here is your masterclass blueprint. Step 1. Track your expenses meticulously. Step 2. Consistently spend less than you earn. Step 3. Build a rock-solid emergency fund. Step 4. Invest your savings regularly. Let compound interest do all the heavy lifting for you. Step 5. Avoid those status purchases like the plague. And Step 6. Maintain a laser focus on long-term wealth over short-term gratification. I urge you, stop trying to look rich and start doing the disciplined work of actual wealth accumulation.
We're going to end our explainer today on this incredibly powerful, lingering thought. If you stop looking rich and start becoming rich, your entire financial life can change in the coming years. True wealth is invisible. It's the money you haven't spent yet. So will you choose the illusion of a flashy lifestyle or the quiet confidence of real financial independence? That choice is entirely up to you. Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating topic with me, and here is to building your true wealth.